What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the AZ Sports Podcast. Sorry, I keep looking to my screen. Just trying to get that podcast thumbnail up on this YouTube live stream. We'll see. All right, there we go. Give me 1 second, and then I will get us going for real. Okay, 1 sec, and all right. Thanks for hanging in there with me. No one's watching anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, let's get to it. Three, two, one. Welcome to another episode of the AZ Sports Podcast. It's your host, Kevin Humphreys. Thank you guys for watching or listening. Please like and subscribe. If you want more Arizona sports content in your life, I'm going to be pumping out more and more episodes and more segments as we get going into football and basketball season. And as the Diamondbacks continue to make us the most frustrated fan base in the major leagues. That's right. I said it and I believe it. Let's get into today's show. And unfortunately, we have to start with the very bad. The Arizona Diamondbacks dropped a home series against the worst team in the National League, the Colorado Rockies. Not just that, but it's another division opponent, and we need every win versus a division opponent that we can get because that is the second tiebreaker in these wild card standings. So the more teams we lose to in the division, the worse it gets for us, unfortunately. Now, we have built up a good lead because we've dominated the Rockies and Giants so far, but every win matters so much. And to make a wild card, to make it into the playoffs, you have to show out against teams like the Rockies. You cannot let these opportunities drop from you. But that's exactly what the Diamondbacks did the last 2 days. The first game was great. They started out hot, won the game 9-0. Michael Soroka was back. Zach Littell looked great in his appearance as well. But that's where the good news basically came to an end. On Tuesday, after Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte solo homered in the first inning, they didn't score another run for the rest of the game. Their offense was honestly just dominated. It was just dominated by Tomoyuki Sagano. I mean, just he was just better than the Diamondbacks, and it's not the first time the Diamondbacks have seen him this year, and it wasn't the first time that they struggled against him. This is just a guy that they struggled with. But with that being said, they still had a 2-0 lead until the 6th inning um where Mitch Bratt finally relinquished 2 runs after going 7 innings scoreless and going 5 innings scoreless so far against the Colorado Rockies and San Diego Padres. So he was on a run of not letting anyone score over 12 innings. So it wasn't a surprise that he eventually gave up a run and a home run to be exact. But what was the real bummer was that uh, the the hit they got on base before the home run was just an infield single. Arenado tried to make a great play on a slow hit ball to third base, scooped it up bare hand, threw it right over to first base, but the runner was just safe in the nick of time. And so instead of it being a one-run home run, it ended up being a two-run home run. Definitely a break that went against the Diamondbacks. And then Kevin Ginkel gave up a triple to Hunter Goodman, the Rockies' best player. And that run scored in the seventh inning, and the Diamondbacks could not muster up any runs to get back into the game. It was just frustrating because we've seen this time and time again from the Diamondbacks, more so today, but also yesterday, where they have guys on base and they're just unable to come up with the big hit. I don't know if I'm sure it's something that they know is going on, and that might be putting even more pressure on themselves than there already is. Just when you typically come up to bat and have to knock in a run home. But for whatever reason, the Diamondbacks have been really bad at that this season since uh, around the end of May. They were really good at it in the first month and a half, 2 months of the season. And then the last few months they've been bad at it. They had started to turn it around over the last few weeks, but in this Rockies series, we saw it rear its ugly head again. And that gets us to the rubber match where, okay, we can at least salvage the series by winning today. We won't lose any ground in the wild card race, and we'll be fine. But unfortunately, the Diamondbacks had one of the craziest offensive performances that I've ever witnessed, and the Diamondbacks do a lot of crazy things. But the D-backs became the first team since 2019 to have 10 plus hits, 10 plus walks, and score less than 5 runs per stat head. That was a tweet from Kellen Olson. And then we had, yeah. And then let's see, looks like I did not get that stat up in there, but there were other wild stats. Like I think uh 21, the Diamondbacks were 21-0 before today when they got at least 10 walks and 11 hits and had 21 base runners. And Torey Lovello said after the game, if you had told me we would have had 21 guys on base, I would have said we scored 10 plus runs. And yeah, they should have, because the Diamondbacks had the bases loaded in the fifth inning, in the sixth inning, in the seventh inning. And then when Corbin Carroll hit a home run in the eighth inning, two more guys got on base after that. But again, Diamondbacks could not get a hit with runners in scoring position. Or if they couldn't, and if they walked, which they did a lot of today, which was really impressive, they couldn't walk those guys home. I believe it was just Ildemaro Vargas who walked a guy home when in a bases loaded situation, but it was just yet again another incomprehensibly frustrating offensive day for the Diamondbacks because they were so good, and then when they needed one big hit to break the game open, one big hit was all it was going to take to launch them right back into the game. They couldn't get it, and they lost this game 6-4, thanks to Merrill Kelly, who pitched 5 innings, allowed 6 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, and had 2 Ks. He had an ERA of 2.82 over his last 7 starts, but today was his eighth outing this season with at least 5 earned runs, which is a career high. His 5.11 ERA is like bottom 5 among starting pitchers who qualify in baseball. Those stats are from Alex Weiner from Arizona Sports. And it's just been, I mean, I don't know what to say. Geraldo Perdomo had 2 hits today. Ketel Marte found his way on 4 times today. Corbin Carroll had a home run and a triple. We finally got production from the top of the lineup, and yet we still were not able to score more than 4 runs, even though we had 21 players reach base today. And, if they had done this against a team that had a good pitching staff, we would have said, hey, like, credit the other team. They just pitched when it mattered most. But this is the Rockies. They have the worst pitching staff, starting and relieving staff in baseball. this wasn't them being good. This was the Diamondbacks giving us, you know, they were the New York Knicks against the Reggie Miller Pacers, just choking it, which is something we've seen from this Diamondbacks team before, unfortunately. And now, if we go to Major League Baseball odds, playoff odds, which I haven't looked at a ton this season, but uh, we can look at it right now. Right now, the Diamondbacks are 64 and 57. They're projected to win about 20 of their last 41 games and 20 of their and lose 20 of their last 41 games. So, that does not bode well for a Diamondbacks team that needs every win that they can get because they have a really brutal schedule to end the season. Like they still have to play the Padres, they have to play the Phillies, they're going to the Braves, they have to play the Red Sox. Like things do not get easier for this Diamondbacks team coming up. They get the day off tomorrow and then they play in Atlanta and then go to Boston for their next two series. And we will have a more in-depth look at that Friday morning. I'll go live on Friday morning for that as well. But anyway, to the playoff odds. So in the last 30 days, the Diamondbacks, because they had the best record in baseball in July, went plus 3-4. They were plus 34.7% chance to make the playoffs. In the last 7 days, their odds have changed by 1%, a positive 1%, because they were able to beat the Dodgers in a series. But in the last day, it's gone down by 11%. So right now they're at a right now they're at a 50.9% chance to make the postseason, which means before the Rockies series, they were probably around a 60 to 65% chance to make the playoffs. So this series really, really hurt this team. It really hurt this team. You had to win today. And looking back, we'll probably look back if the Diamondbacks don't make the playoffs, you'll look back and say, "Man, they probably should have won both games against the Rockies," and that could have been the difference. It could have been the difference between them making the playoffs and not. I know at the end of the season, today's game, and there are a few other games where the Diamondbacks left 15, 16 guys on base that they lost. I'm going to go back and circle all of those games and say, it was right here, we just couldn't get it done. Just could not get it done, which is the worst because a lot of it feels like if we just were average with runners in scoring position, we would be probably in more of a position against the Chicago Cubs are than we would probably